Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at a piece by the AI generative artist known as Proxima Centauri B. In this episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about rarity of color. We're going to talk about the divine elements of the natural realm, and then we're going to talk about some stylistic influences from Impressionism. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this piece, you're met with an incredibly diverse color palette here, and you'll notice how these purple accents combine with this kind of set foundation blue to really work together to accent themselves to the highest degree possible. This, of course, is using both color-based rarity as well as their intensity of tone to kind of bring them out and to really call your attention whenever you're looking at this piece here. And so this color-based rarity, it also gives you kind of a slight sense of magic, but we'll talk about that here in a second. And so you'll see just the intensity of light within this work. It feels like it possesses like every pixel of the digital spatial composition. And so that results in a very kind of energetic visual experience, and the energy really invigorates almost like a morning sunrise. And so whenever you see that, you're awakened and you're invigorated. And so there's a lot of visual energy within this piece just from the vivid and vibrant intensity of light that we already see here. And so we see our perspective set above what appears to be this water source here. We're kind of set here looking out. And so this feels as if we've reached like a destination of high or great importance. And the reason I say that is because there's this profound sense of magic within this piece. Even this iridescent bubble and just the intensity of light and kind of these aqua tones all really work together to immerse the viewer within a very divine and magical experience. And so we see, another example of the priceless divinity of the natural realm as well. And what I mean by this is nature, it cultivates, it kills, and it rebirths life all within the same cycle. And so we are divine by nature, and nature is divine just by the fact that it creates so many living beings and it has such an immense biodiversity. And I think that biodiversity may even mimic the diversity of the color palette within the piece before us as well. So I think that's also important to note. It seems as if we're looking on some type of kind of magical botanical garden here, and it's very immersive, it's very magical, it's very energetic, and it's very colorful at that as well. And so we also see some stylistic influences from Impressionism. This really reminds me of kind of like a digital Monet, if you see what I'm getting at. Monet was an Impressionist painter, one of the founders of the Impressionist movement. And the way that you can look at a kind of Impressionist painting is you can see small yet visible brushstrokes. You can see kind of intensified light, so very colorful, very vivid colors. And then finally, there's normally a depiction of a natural scene. So some type of scene of nature is normally painted in Impressionist paintings. So what I see here is, that mix of course, this was created in an AI generative program. And then this was then a mixed media piece with some edits on top of it. So we see the AI generative just the program creating this for us. And it's quite interesting because it has that painterly style. It has those short yet visible brush strokes. It has that very natural, garden scene. And then finally, it has the intensified light and color. So all of those really point to kind of a stylistic influence of Impressionism. And it creates such a priceless piece here. Notice just how wide the spatial composition is. That really brings you in. It's very immersive. It's very, effective at its job at that as well. So very, very divine, very energetic visual experience, and a very kind of magical one as well. This bubble here, we normally see iridescent light or bubbles associated with magic or spirituality or the divine. And that's probably because, as kids, you look at nature and you look at things like bubbles, and it's just it's mesmerizing. It just kind of freezes you, and you're caught in awe. So now I wanted to take a look at one of the other pieces from this artist. We're going to see what we can learn and see if we can draw kind of a stylistic profile from the artist. All right, so taking a look at two pieces from I believe it's the Garden Collection. This one I know is Garden number 5. I believe this one also comes from the Garden Collection. Like we said, that Impressionist style here, of course, both of them were made in AI generative art programs, and then they were kind of edited with some mixed media. Very natural scene, very magical, kind of iridescent light, very intense tones on both of these. Almost feels like a watercolor painting on the one on the left here, how you look at the water and the way it layers. So just some stunning works coming from this artist. It's pretty clear that this artist has a profound passion for natural scenes. the fantasy as well as just divine nature as a whole. And so I thought it'd be cool to kind of bring this piece in, put it right next to the one we just talked about, and see what we could learn here. And so we do see that Impressionist style, that intensified light, and just the depiction of a very divine natural scene. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something on this piece. We talked a little bit about rarity of color, talked about influences of Impressionism, we talked about the divine natural realm, and we talked a little bit about AI generative art and mixed media. Go check out some of Proxima Centauri B's other works, doing a bunch of different things. She's a very, very hardworking artist. So I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.